So I put a post up on my stories a couple of days ago where I was talking about the importance of really choosing the language that we use when we talk about our horses. And this idea that our words hold power. How we speak about a situation begins to create an identity and a story in our mind that then begins to inform our outer reality. So it really shapes the lens through which we view a situation. And this can have a huge impact on, all of our relationships, all of our animals, and how we really experience the world. So I got a wonderful question from that. And someone asked me, she said that, she's had a horse that has had some trauma. So she describes him as having PTSD and like, is that bad? And I thought this was a wonderful question and a beautiful way to really, explain how we can change our words a little bit to change our reality. So my recommendation with that is instead of saying my horse has PTSD, is switching it and saying that my horse has experienced PTSD. So that subtle shift, it takes us out of this current time frame of energetically, but also mentally, emotionally, and psychologically, we are locking that horse into a moment in time and beginning to shape and inform their identity and how we see them around that event. Where so much of it is that feeling of saying, my horse has experienced PTSD, all of a sudden we're living in this or seeing them through this possibility of, we're not in denial of what's happened in the past. So we're honoring and acknowledging that there's been some trauma. And I do think that is absolutely important. We can't just skate over these things when they need attention and they need acknowledgement. But we're also not locking this horse into the reality of this is who they are. So it's really giving them the opportunity, and us, we begin to hold them in this idea of like, yes, there's been trauma in the past, but I see and acknowledge, and it can actually, begin to create this pathway forward into which my horse is really happy, he's really thriving, and he's completely healed. So just a little reframe. It's really important to help shift how we hold a situation. The other recommendation I gave her was, to whatever this horse's trauma response is, to begin to take time to imagine and to really in your mind see your horse responding differently. So instead of worrying about their trauma responses, when you're not working with them, if you're just thinking about them, you can do some guided imagery and really imagine, if my horse is triggered by loading in the horse trailer and they always blow up before they get in the trailer, really spending some time with intention to imagine your horse just beautifully walking into the horse trailer. This is important because, again, the way I describe it, it creates an energetic template that our animals can then source from. So if we think about energy fields and our animals, horses are masterful at that. We all have this bioelectric field that extends from our body that holds a tremendous amount of information. So when we start to vibrate in our field and send this information of going into the trailer as being safe, being easy, being gentle, and conflict-free, the horses then have something to attune to, and they have a different template through which they can source information from us. So that may sound a little out there, but I promise I would really encourage you guys to try it. I've done this. I don't compete a lot anymore, but I would say in the last decade, the little bit of horse showing that I've done, I always run through my dressage tests in my mind and imagine the score that I want in the best possible scenario. And when I take time to consciously do this, it always works. Like within, less than a percentage point of the score that I want, and it really allows, because again, my body, my energy, everything is attuned to, my dressage test rolling out a perfect way. So, or the way that I want. So I would really encourage you guys to play with that. I would love to hear your experiences. And if you have any more questions around this, please, you can either send me a DM or drop it in the comments. Thank you.